Welcome back to the channel. You know I'm G. I'm usually here to talk some sports, and I will be talking some sports today, but today's a special video, and it's going to be about Paul George. Let's get into it. PG-13. So the reason I came to make this video today is Paul George is my favorite player. 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 2010, 2011 All-Rookie, a 2012, 2013 Most Improved Player, but my favorite stat most of all, a 4-time All-Defensive Player. Now, I just want to go over a little highlights of Paul George and kind of go through a little mini version of his career. See if it get you guys to join the PG-13 train. Let's start with the Indiana Pacers. So he comes in the league 2010, 2011, makes the All-Rookie team. Yes, he's in the playoffs, but not a big impact. 2012, 2013 is the season where he really exploded. Now, most of us probably know Paul George from the Pacers, right? That was his come up. That was his blow up, taking Danny Granger's spotlight over and battling LeBron in the playoffs. Takes LeBron to Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, toe-to-toe with LeBron. And not only did he do that, but he took LeBron to 6 games the next year as well. And not just LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and all of them boys with Roy Hibbert, David West, and you get it. A big thing that I want to talk about, and I don't know if people just forget this or what, the Team USA. I just don't get how can you hate on a man that snapped his leg in half, was told he was probably never going to play basketball again, came back with maybe even a bigger bag, but man, that makes me even more for him to be able to overcome that and come back. Now let's move on to the Thunder, right? This man's playing with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony, the two guys that LeBron sitting on the edge of the play-in with. Now, granted, yes, all three of the guys were closer to their prime on the Thunder, right? But still, I think people still don't give Paul George the credit. Yes, I would have loved for Paul George to do something there. I'm not an OKC fan or anything, but big Melo fan as well. And I wanted to see them win something, but obviously that was cut short because of the Kawhi trade. And then we get to the bubble. Now, I think Paul George might be the most, or at least one of the most, talked about players when it came to conditions in the bubble. And, there's a lot of things going on in the bubble. Yes, there is no excuses. There's still teams that went out and did their thing. Now we get back to the playoffs for the Clippers. Paul George is once again the best player on the team. Kawhi is out. And he overachieves once again in the playoffs. Playoff P. Paul George does it again. Paul George carries that Clippers team all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and he loses to the Suns, which are our finals team. And now on to this season. Last night, Paul George comes back after a 3-month injury. A 3-month injury. Comes back, drops 30 plus, leads a 25-point comeback win. The good thing for the Clippers, their record maintained good enough for them to stay in the play-in. Now, as you look at the seeding right now, they're right in the middle of the play-in. And with Paul George coming back, my expectations for Paul George in these playoffs, so my expectations are a little weird because he is coming back from injury about 10 games before the playoffs. But you know what? I'm sitting here, I'm making a video about this guy. I'm rooting for this guy 24/7, so I'm going to put the expectations on him. I'm going to say Paul George wins that playoff. I'm going to say Paul George leads the Clippers and wins that play-in game, that 7th seed. And not only does he win that 7th seed, but also carries those Clippers to win that series against Memphis. Now, where it goes after that, I'm not sure. All respect to Devin Booker, all respect to James Harden, whoever you want to throw in there, but Paul George is the best shooting guard in the NBA. And if you're still hating on that, then I don't know what to tell you. Next year, Kawhi is back, maybe a championship, but obviously we'll have to wait and see for that. This is my Paul George rant video. I just don't get why he's hated so much. It's just like laughable to me now. I really don't understand it. So I thought I'd shine some light on his career, shine some light on his moments, and just talk about him a little bit. And I think he deserves some more respect and some more flowers. Shout out to PG-13. Hopefully he can reach my expectations or exceed my expectations. That'd be amazing. So what is he to you? Pandemic P or Playoff P? Y'all guys let me know in the comments. I'm G. I'm always here to talk some sports. Subscribe to the channel. Anything you can do to support the channel, that'll be great. PG-13 all the way, baby. And I'm out.